Hey guys, well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how NVIDIA has had an absolutely busy week. They have released two new things, a new lineup of graphics cards, and they've announced an unlikely partnership that might improve your driving experience. I'm not kidding. So we're going to be talking about it in today's video, and we're also going to be talking about what it means for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be talking about the RTX 50 series graphics cards and what it means for the prosumer market or the pro consumer market. Now, these graphics cards are absolute beasts. Now, the RTX 5090, which is the highest tier of graphics card in the series of them, has 32 gigabytes of GDDR7 memory, a memory bandwidth of 1,792 gigabytes per second, so almost 2 terabytes, and a massive 21,760 CUDA cores. So for one example, if you run local AI models or do anything that requires lots of video memory, you want to keep this graphics card in mind, and it might be the one for you because this thing has some serious memory. I think it's like almost nearing enterprise grade, but at a consumer price tag. And a large amount of CUDA cores will probably optimize some of your more like After Effects or 3D modeling kind of workflows because those workflows do rely on CUDA, which is NVIDIA's own technology for those sorts of things. And if you're in the video editing market, especially the professional video editing market, you might want to keep this thing in mind because it has an added hardware support for encoding and decoding the 422 Pro grade color format. Now, admittedly, I don't know much about color formats. I am kind of in like the amateur tier of video editor, but the one thing I do know is that this means it will have hardware encoding support, which is a lot better than software encoding, because if you've ever had to deal with software encoding on anything, or like video games, for example, like software rendering tends to be slow because those sorts of tasks CPUs aren't really ever meant for. They're more meant for GPUs. So the fact that it now has a new type of hardware encoding support, I'm sure is going to appease a certain audience of people. It also has the ninth gen NVENC video encoder, which means you're going to see more performance optimizations in things such as like video editing, video rendering. You'll see performance optimizations in OBS. If you do professional video workflows, you'll see performance optimizations there. So a few things to keep in mind for sure. This is definitely a good GPU for like the more creative and professional market. But there's also benefits for the gaming market, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. So alongside the already existing benefits for the professional market, this GPU has, no, these lineup of GPUs do have some benefits for the gaming market, namely in regards to DLSS 4. If you don't know what DLSS 4 is, it is a new technology made by NVIDIA that utilizes neural rendering, basically AI, to boost FPS, reduce latency, and improve image quality, at least according to NVIDIA themselves. Now, DLSS is multiple different things. It's multiple different technologies. I'm going to be covering a few of them real quick. DLSS multi-frame generation. Basically what this does is you can go ahead and have, let's say, like 28 actual rendered frames. Like your graphics card is rendering 28 frames per second. That's what it's actually rendering. DLSS can then come in and then add 3 frames per rendered frame. So it'll use AI to generate 3 extra frames based off of that one actual rendered frame, which can clearly, as you can tell by this YouTube video comparison, boost your FPS significantly. So one thing to keep in mind there, you might want to consider it for that. Furthermore, it also has something called ray construction. Basically, it'll use an AI that NVIDIA themselves trained to improve the reflections that ray tracing provides and make it more realistic and more lifelike. So another thing to keep in mind. There's also a new technology called DLSS Super Resolution. Basically what this does is it can upscale a lower quality game like in 1080p or something to something more high quality like 4K. So that is another interesting technology to keep in mind here. And all of this is also backed by some of the same performance benefits that you see in the that are more important for the professional market. So this GPU does kind of appease everybody in the sense that it's really powerful for kind of any workflow you're looking for. Maybe you're gaming, maybe you're doing more professional stuff. These GPUs are seriously, seriously powerful. Now, you may be wondering, what's the price? Well, as you can expect, it's a bit pricey. The RTX 5090, which is the highest tier one, goes for about $2,000. The RTX 5080 goes for $1,000. The RTX 5070 Ti goes for $749. And the RTX 5070 goes for $549. So that goes from like the highest tier, highest spec down to the lowest. So a bit pricey, but for the performance benefits you get, I think it is actually quite a good deal. So that is NVIDIA's new graphics card lineup. Next, I'm going to be talking about the unlikely partnership that might be improving your driving experience. So, believe it or not, Toyota actually partnered with NVIDIA, and Toyota's new cars are going to be built with NVIDIA supercomputers and operating system, which is actually quite interesting. So if you don't already know, and most people probably won't because this is a bit obscure knowledge anyways, but Toyota, well, actually NVIDIA rather, has been in the self-driving industry for quite some time. They actually used to be a chip manufacturer for Tesla until Tesla started making their own processors to handle self-driving. So they are quite a reputable brand. They literally used to be the people who made the Tesla processors for the Tesla cars. So they are a quite reputable brand in the space, especially with the rest of their AI backing on them. So let's go ahead and get into some of the more nitty gritty of this. Toyota announced at CES 2025 that its next generation vehicles will have automated driving capabilities powered by NVIDIA's Drive AGX Orin supercomputer. Now, in English, basically what that is NVIDIA makes a small computer about the size of like this or so, maybe a bit bigger, that can handle full self-driving cameras and do those kinds of autonomous driving tasks, and it's powered by an NVIDIA processor as well as a CPU and other various things. It is a small scale computer that can handle the advanced tasks necessary to handle things like full self-driving. So, one thing to keep in mind as well. Second thing to keep in mind is it's also bundled alongside something called DriveOS, which is basically an operating system for NVIDIA's autonomous vehicle platform, being Drive AGX Orin, and it's a whole like bundle deal basically. It comes with the hardware and the software in order to make the magical things happen in order to make your car drive itself. That's the long and the short of it without getting into all of the crazy technical details. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, Toyota and NVIDIA have been a little bit vague as to what is actually going to be done with this because there's multiple different autonomous driving things. There's full self-driving, there's that like sort of self-driving that's like kind of cruise control where it'll self-drive on like highways for a bit and then it'll kick you back into control in like local roads. There's summoning where you can like press a button and your car will drive itself up to you. There's a lot of different autonomous driving types of things, and they were quite vague as to what it could be. So I'm not necessarily sure, but their software does provide the tool, their software and their hardware do provide the tools in order to make any one of these things happen, including the full self-driving. For example, they have a tool called Drive Chauffeur, which is an AI-assisted driving platform that can handle both highways and urban traffic. So we can actually see a Toyota car with an NVIDIA chip that does have full self-driving. That is possible, but as to whether or not that's what's going to be there, I don't know. Some of this is a little bit of speculation. They've made it happen before, but I don't know if that's what we're going to see in these cars. We're just going to have to wait and find out what they say because they were, again, a bit vague. But all in all, they are implementing self-driving technology in Toyota cars, NVIDIA branded ones nonetheless. So if you're a financial like stockholder in like NVIDIA or Toyota, you might want to hold on those stocks just a little bit because that is some serious money in NVIDIA's pockets for sure. So it's a very interesting thing. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to watch more videos, you can watch them right over here. And yeah, take care, you guys. Stay safe out there. Have a good day.